First thing, as you sit at your desk, okay, you're coming into your office. Hopefully, you've got some nice ambiance going. You guys know I have this whole section on hardware. It's important. You walk in, you should be proud of your desk space. But then ask yourself, hey, how am I feeling today? You know, if you got the coffee in hand, hopefully you're ready to go with some kind of caffeination if you're a caffeine person. You know, I don't know. I don't understand you people who don't do caffeine, all right? Next one, he's talking about getting frustrated in the morning if you are frustrated. I have had this as well. Mine is, hey, how's your temperament today? You know, did you have an argument with somebody last night? If you are upset about something, you're mad about something, I am telling you right now, you will find yourself doing things. You'll be a little more stubborn on your trades, a little less likely to let go of a trade. You are just going to be in that mindset. I will say this is the only scenario in which you should literally sit yourself out. Did you hear what I'm saying? If you are angry, you're upset, get away from your desk. Okay? Personal experience. A lot of other people have heard it and said it too. I tried to quantify it, what exactly it is. Fairly certain it's that stubbornness that kicks in, and you cannot be stubborn. If a trade's not working for you, boom, boom, we close it out. Okay, that is number 2. Next one, we've got check your calendar for the big macro event. And then this one right here, this is your Econo Day calendar. If you guys don't have one of these, again, we got this in the tips and tricks section. No, I do not get a kickback for this. They print out all of it for you in a whole year. This is at a glance. Everything on the economic calendar of events. This is the one for 2021. Looks like that. So pick you one up and look at that. All your cool stuff. Hey, where are earnings reports? Hey, where's FOMC going to be? You can circle them. You can make markers on them. Like right now we have, as we talked about in the last couple of weeks here, we are coming into earnings season, which is why we know we could anticipate that we were going to have some great opportunities. And this is a great time to do it, which is why I was excited to do the small account challenge right now when we've got the VIX up. You know, we talk about around here, one of our rules is VIX up, ticks up. And that means that the higher the VIX, the more ticks that we have the opportunity to take. Let's go to the next one. Check the news, red star for the day. So you looked at it at the macro picture. And if you guys are new with us, I want you to become familiar with some of our commands, ! News. We care about those red star ones like right here, okay? This is what's gonna be happening tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We got the 10:30. There's the petroleum numbers right there on the red, and you'll need to know about that. And of course, we talk about how to trade this particular event on Wednesdays, and we've got rules around those. So again, first thing in the morning, one of your checklist items is checking what that news is so that you know what time that's gonna happen. I always tell you guys, you absolutely must have an audio-based timer, meaning whether you're using a Google Home or an Alexa or whichever one, or your phone, you know, whatever you want to use, as long as you can call it out and say, you know, the word beep beep, can you please set me a timer for X number of minutes. I don't want to say it because it's going to set all you guys stuff off like it does on mine. And, you know, set that timer, and then, you know, the FOMC, if you think you're going to forget, and you don't have to do that one. That one's an optional one, but it that can be helpful, especially if you are a new person. Get you in the habit of making your mind be thinking about it ahead of time. So news. Now, what day is it? Next one. Ask yourself, so what day of the week is it? And we have things in our training system. If you go through videos 1 through 6 in the core, we go into details on each different day, but you need to identify what day is it. So it's a Wednesday, okay, Wacky Wednesday. What do we do on Wednesdays for tomorrow? You know the list that we're going through on that. That should be forefront in your mind. And if you don't know what that was, you should be having notes on each type of day. And hopefully your notes for that day, be like, okay, look down your checklist for that day that we learned from our video. It is Wednesday, so I've got crude oil inventories, I've got home inventory numbers as well, and knowing when those things are going to occur, and of course picking out what session time of the day, which brings us to our next one. When you are sitting down at your desk, what time of day is it? Is it the morning? Is it the afternoon? Is it the evening? And it really doesn't matter. Everything we do here is in Eastern time. You need to set your clocks on your computers for our system to Eastern time. This allows us to execute with LunchBot. It also keeps everybody in the crew on the same page, and it's just what you have to do for our system to work properly. All right, we're going to learn another command here, ! Sessions. Okay, if you want to know what our sessions breakdown is, you can print this out for yourself if you'd like. These are, you just need to know, what time am I sitting down? Am I sitting down in the morning session? See these little boxes? Each one of these represents a section. There's a section, there's a section, there's a section, there's a section. This is how our day breaks down. Intraday, if you are trading in US markets intraday systems, this is the intraday list, and you'll learn that in the core video lessons 1 through 6. Again, these are all free on our website. You can go check that out. Another one is ! Sessions 2. This is for those of you guys who are in the overnight crowd, or you are in Europe, London. We got a lot of folks from London. We got the folks in Australia. This really more applies to them. I usually recommend, hey, be very careful. Only trade this if there is a catalyst event, as we teach you guys. But there are the 2 session setups that you need to make sure that you know what time you are sitting down. That is the next one on our list. Next one on our list is VIX, rising or falling. So you can come in our room and type ! VIX, okay, boom. Now, ! VIX is going to pull up this little bad boy right here. We'll tell you the current, it will tell you the previous, and it'll tell you the open. And we've got rules around what to do with that, but you just check that, got it on your list. How do we choose our instruments? Now, if you type gears, we teach a lot about what we're doing with gear shifting. So gear shifting for us is which instrument are you going to choose for that day? Is it going to be, again, NQ, YM, RTY? These are listed in order by speed from top to bottom. So fastest at the top, slowest at the bottom. And of course, we got the micros list as well down here, but these are the minis that we focus on. This is our entire world right here. Another one of those things, like if you're a stocks trader and you're finally coming into E-minis and waking up to the fact that futures have so many advantages, from tax advantages to simplicity, etc. This is the entire world, folks. You don't have to hunt through 2,000 some odd stocks to figure out what's hot that day and who's moving and get on everybody's watch lists and figure out who's the mover and Momo bar chase and all that and penny stock hop. Like, you don't have to do any of that. We just go, this is our world. Hey, and these are what we're choosing from. So you're literally, and really we got it narrowed down to like basically the top 4, okay, with ES, okay? So NQ, YM, RTY, ES, as you guys see on my live streams, is VIX up, ticks up. There's the visual on that in our room that we remind ourselves of, because we also have our members helping us out when we post these in the room. So everybody's like, hey, don't forget, high VIX, let's do it, okay? Next one on our list here is resetting your 5 trades sheet. So this is a physical thing. Now, if you have not been in our room, or if you might be new to this, everybody here in my room should already have one of these printed out. If you don't, hey, do it. I'm just telling you, you need to. It's a vision boarding tool. This is how we track how many trades are on. So in the morning, I'm gonna reset this, bam, 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 bam. I've got my 5 trades ready to go. I've got my 6th one I'm gonna set on the side for my bonus trade if that trade opportunity gets itself there. So we're going to reset our 5 trade sheet for our session. That is another important thing that you need to do on your checklist. All right, so another command. Next, we're going to be looking at earnings. Here we go. So now I can tell right now there are 87 companies reporting today, and I can see like the next couple days. Sometimes if there's a huge day, like the next day, this can also, we'll talk about trading toward the golden ropes. You'll learn those rules in our FOMC trainings, as well as, hey, we call these like pre-macro events, meaning, so if today is Tuesday, and if I had looked to see that tomorrow, Wednesday, is going to be, wow, huge earnings report day, might be pushing everything kind of toward the golden ropes. So I'm going to mainly be looking for trades to trade toward the golden ropes, which is very, very helpful to pick out your bias of direction when we are trying to pick out our trades. Okay, so that is our earnings. So let's go to our next one on our list. FOMC is today in FOMC, which is pretty much always going to be on a Wednesday, unless we had like a holiday. So we had a holiday just recently. We had 4th of July. So then that pushed everything back. But in general, that is only going to be on a Wednesday. But if it is, someone in the room will probably type this, !FOMC. What does that mean? That means that today is the fear of market conditions. Yes, I know it doesn't actually stand for that, but when the Fed is speaking and they're having their minutes released and whatnot at 2 p.m. Eastern time is usually always when they do it. Again, unless there's some crazy exception, you know that it's 2 p.m., which means we have specific rules. So FOMC, good to know, and we have rules around how to trade that. Again, we're not going into the stuff on how to do it, but this is your checklist of things you need to be thinking about in the morning. The cadence. Cadence, you'll learn about in videos 1 and 2. In that video core section, and we're talking about the cadence of your P&L. I want to show you guys something. If you'd like to have a tip and trick to go and get for yourself, in our room, type #tips, and so you go here, Vinny's tips and tricks. So you can come right down in here, and this will take you to some of our resources. If you guys want to print out this one, I like this one because I can just come in here, I can color it, I can put the numbers in it, and kept the same one for forever until it finally, I think, tore off my wall, and when we moved. But that one right there stuck with me for a very long time. And of course, here's that other sheet if you'd like to print that one out as far as our trade count system. And that one there is super helpful. And of course, this is me when I was using Nerf darts. Of course, now I use golden Trump coins. Now, the cadence that matters here on that checklist is to go, okay, well, what is it today? 2, 3 green days, like this one here. Like, let's say you go on this winning streak and you've had just awesome days in a row, like you're kind of due, right? What I have found that if you mentally prepare yourself for a loss, what's interesting is you can actually avoid it. It's almost as though, like, by just simply recognizing the fact that today might be a loss, you can actually adjust and adapt to figure out, like, you know what, today the market might be one of those days. And if you just control your loss on that day, okay, then everything else works out. And next one on the list. So you've identified the cadence at the week level, what your day is going to bring. You're kind of thinking about it. You've got it locked into your head on what you're expecting, but always being prepared and reacting appropriately. That is the key. And that, my friends, is where you turn up the jam. Now, what does that mean? On your list, check your music. Folks, now, look, there are some people who still swear to this day like they cannot trade with music. I don't understand those people, okay? I can't trade without it. But there have been studies that, or especially rapid music. Now I know people are like, well, I like the mellow and I like the, well, what are you going to do when the market's quick and whatnot? I would say you're at a massive disadvantage if you're playing with slow music. Just hear me out. It's my opinion, and let me back it up a minute. Okay. They have proven that when people go into restaurants, that if they play fast music, people will chew faster. It's weird. Like you chew at the time of the thing, so they can actually get more people through the system quickly by increasing the speed of the music that they're playing, and so keep the tempo going, so clear through more people, clear through more tables, and they make more money. Now, does it mean that more trades are going to be? I'm not saying trades, but I'm talking about your reaction time. Okay, that if your brain is thinking at a certain pace, tat 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 tat, or it's thinking at like this, or it's thinking at like this, right? These are different, and that rhythm and that time can change things. I'll do a whole video on theta waves and alpha waves at some point. Really cool stuff that I've looked into. Really neat, and it does help in my opinion. So turn up the jams now right before you're about to get going, right? Feel that groove, and especially sometimes you got a jam. You got that one jam that just gets you in the mood. Okay, back in the day for me, it was Gotta Be. Okay, Gotta Be by Desiree. You know which one I'm talking about? It's like gotta be. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser, you gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You know that whole thing? Yeah, I mean, it sounds good in the shower, I promise. It sounds terrible in here, so bear with me. But Desiree does a great job at it, and it really used to get me going in the morning. I would play that one. It was actually my wake-up jam, and I do think that elevates your mood, and that can help you out with your trading as well. And then I thought this was actually good from Ross, so I'm giving Ross another mad prop on him saying, like, print out your equity curve. I thought this was interesting, especially for new traders, printing out an equity curve. And his thought process was this, and I liked it. I'm gonna go to blank screen here, and he said, print out your equity curve for your simulation results. Okay, so again, you guys know you start here in simulation, you do market replay with us, you practice the strategies that we do. And watch these, because what he pointed out a good point. He's like, if you're going along and you're doing really well, and then you have this dip right here. But if you have some history there, if you guys do the 120 days that we tell you to do before we kind of go live, is that you'll remember this spot here where you're like, oh man, I don't know what happened. I had two red days in a row, and I was just like, he had a good point. Like some new traders will think, oh, was I just getting lucky? Man, my streak's over. Oh, I must be terrible again. I'm going to tell you. Not you. The market shifts, your system, your tools. Let the edge inside of our tools and system play out for you, okay? It's weird and it's hard to think through that, but again, with practice, you look at our members' results, they're doing fantastic. I'm so proud of our crew, doing an excellent job. But I liked what he said, is like printing this out somewhere, sticking it up in your thing, being like, you know what? When I have those drawdowns, it doesn't matter. I have it, and I keep on, and I've succeeded in it before, and I just keep at it, and we're gonna go, right? You're gonna have that drawdown, no big deal to get going. We talked about the morning. Now, assuming we were in the morning, but remember what I talked about in that session count. If you are in the afternoon, we know that there are certain personalities for the morning or the afternoon or the middle of the day. So looking at that sessions list, there are certain things that you're going to be doing in the morning. Obviously there is, a specific time, like literally right there at 9:30, that you are like, okay, you need to prep up for that and go, okay, really, I want you to sit on your hands for 5 minutes, right? 9:35 should be your first trade if you were doing that early morning right here session. Now, if you're trading before that, hey, it's great. In fact, you can get great little trades there for the first 2 hours before that even happens. Again, futures markets are open 23.5. So again, great opportunities to trade in the morning if you're up for it. But that event right there is something that you need to prepare for. But if you're in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, you've got things and events that can occur right there at 2 o'clock, whether it's FOMC or at the end of the day, you've got at the end of the day, the final 10 minutes, you got the lucky sevens, all those things that you learn in our system. Remember, like in your final thing, as you're going through your checklist is, okay, what's my next event? This is it. Ask yourself, final thing, what is the next event? Okay. If there is one, great. If there's not, be like, okay, well, I'm just looking. And the first thing you're starting to do is starting to look over there at that MACV filter, okay? But before you do that, the very final thing is, now we're moving up to our highest time frames. How do we do that? You're looking at your tide, your wave, and your ripple. For me, I like to have them all on one so I can see them at a glance to go, which one do I think is in play? Today was a great example of, well, on the highest time frames, was there something that stands out? Just look for something that stands out. Don't be trying to like micro it, okay? Just like, micro analyze it. Just look, you see that right there? That stands out to me. That stands out to me. This stands out to me. Okay. This one, not really. Yeah. So I would literally go, I'm not going to trade the ES. YM, look at this. I've got 2 hits on RTY. This is going to be my big hitter. See how easy that was? I'm just going to look at it and go, boom. That's what I want. NQ, again, right now I'm not trading NQ at all because I'm doing small account challenge. If this was coming on right now, I like that that's happening right there, but I've got 2 things here. So again, I'm just kind of process of elimination. First thing I'm going to look at is RTY, just to see if there's an opportunity right there and immediately to carry on with the high time frame. Remember that we moved from tide, wave, and then enter in on our ripples.
It does.
And we will look forward to having you in the crew. I will catch you guys on the flip side. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis, G, and the rest of the gang. Let's send out that big H-Town. See ya.